Hello and welcome to another cooking video on this channel. I decided to do something that I don't think I've ever really seen before. I'm going to do a cook through of some of the vegan cookbooks that I have, and so I decided to start with the Oh She Glows cookbook, and this is an Indian lentil-cauliflower soup. When I decided to make this recipe, I thought that I could make it without oil. This is something that I generally do if I can do it, if I think it's feasible. All you have to do is heat some water up in the bottom of your pan, and then you use it like oil. That's it. The secret's out. The first thing I added to the pot was the onions, and they were diced. We don't like no chunky onions here. Next thing I added was some garlic. I believe it was supposed to be 2 large cloves, but usually I kind of overshoot it because we really do like garlic here. I prefer to use this canned kind because 1, I really hate chopping garlic. I'm really bad at it. And 2, I haven't been able to deal with the spice level of garlic over the years. I don't know what it is. After you add the garlic and the onion together in the pot, you stir. When you're cooking without oil like this, anytime that it gets a little dry or sticky to the bottom of the pan, you just add a little water just like that. It's funny because I decided to pre-chop all of my ingredients for this video so that I didn't have a lot of monotonous chopping montages, and instead it's turned into monotonous stirring montages. So enjoy! I really hope you like stirring. The next ingredient to add was ginger. It said to use about a tablespoon. I just kind of approximated. I figured that it looked like a tablespoon to me. I didn't need to measure it out. And after you add the ginger, you stir some more. Then it was time for spices. This recipe calls for curry powder, but I didn't have any curry powder, so I had to make my own. I ended up using cumin and then the cilantro. And the cilantro, I wanted it to be kind of small, so I smashed it. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Kind of got everywhere. And we have to add more water because we don't want anything to stick to the bottom of the pan. The recipe that I was using for the curry powder called for nutmeg, so I used the nutmeg and then a little bit of cinnamon. There we go. And some red chili pepper, cayenne pepper, something like that, and salt because salt's good stuff, and pepper. And I guess that's curry powder. I don't know. I don't eat a lot of things with curry powder. This is kind of a new experience for me. After you add your curry powder, which I highly recommend you get curry powder, you stir some more. The next thing to add were the actual spices, which was more cumin, more cilantro, which I smashed again, and then all you have to do is stir it up some more to combine it. Pretty simple. After that, you have to add about 6 cups of liquid, so I used some of this vegetable broth that I had left over from something else previously in the week, and there definitely wasn't 6 cups of it, so once it ran out, I used water instead, and then I added some of my favorite vegetable bouillon spice. Now, some people or some recipes, it says that you have to dissolve the spice in the water before you add it, but I figured out a while ago that if you just heat it up in the pot and add it, it works just the same and you don't get another bowl dirty. I thought that was pretty clever when I came up with it, but maybe it's the obvious choice. I don't know. And you stir some more. Next, we get to add the lentils. This recipe didn't say to wash them, so I didn't wash them. We have dirty lentils. That's okay. It didn't really bother me. Then you're going to let it get to a boil so that it can get, really hot. And then you reduce it, and then you'll stir it some more until you get to the point where we're gonna put the cauliflower in. And it said to use a medium cauliflower. I felt like I used a pretty big cauliflower. and got away with it. So if you really like cauliflower, get a big one. And then you just kind of smash it down into the pot, but don't smash it too hard because you don't want to make like a cauliflower like nothing. You want it to still be pieces. This recipe actually calls for a sweet potato. I don't like sweet potato. Andy doesn't like sweet potato. So instead I used a russet potato. And then later on, after I'd made the dish and I decided that it was too white, I thought to myself, hey, why didn't I substitute some of that potato with carrots? And more on that later. Once you've incorporated all the cauliflower and the potatoes, you cover it, you let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. You can reveal it and the smoke comes out, and wow, you have a nice shrunk down stew. Then you can add some more spices. I felt like I didn't add enough. I felt like I needed to add more in the process, and we actually used a little bit more salt, pepper, and whatever hot stuff we grabbed at the time throughout the week. Once you've added your spices, you can add your spinach. I used some old stuff and some new stuff. Didn't affect the taste at all. If you have leftover spinach, this would be a great way to use it. Stir it up, incorporate it, get the spinach to wilt down. Nothing new. And those are my carrots. I boiled them instead of steaming them. I just didn't feel like it after all it was all said and done. And that's it. That's your Indian cauliflower stew. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.